Online learning definitely comes with its own challenges. I've been teaching and working with students for over 7 years in an online setting, and I'm here to provide you with some tips and tricks that can make that whole experience a lot more smooth. My name is Brandon Reimken, and I'm the head of department for concept art and illustration here at CG Spectrum. We're an online school that's been around since 2011, and we have students and mentors from 90 different countries around the world. And so we're here to pass on a little bit of that knowledge and experience to you. Accept feedback. Even after having been in an industry setting for many years, a lot of experienced artists can still be very poor at accepting feedback. When it comes to online mentoring, it's important to make sure that you are still receptive to feedback yourself so that you can tune and adjust your methodologies to provide a better experience for everyone. Asking questions. It's very important for a mentor to make sure that they are asking questions. On the professional side, it's very good to make sure that you're not assuming how things work and incorrectly proceeding in the wrong direction with your mentorship. There will usually be certain rules and regulations around things or procedures that you have to follow, so just make sure that you're clear on that and make sure you ask questions if you're not. On the student side, it's really good to get to the core of some of the issues that a student's having, whether it be technique-based or motivation-based, things like that, before the problem starts to become a larger issue where the student is unable to progress. So make sure that you're not shy and that you ask those questions. Be concise. A lot of the times when we start talking about artwork, we can meander and go off on tangents and end up chewing up a lot of time. In situations where time is of the essence and we have to stick to a schedule, that can lead to some bad experiences for everybody involved. So just make sure that you're targeted in the speech that you're using and what you're specifically pointing to in feedback for students, and stay on time. That's going to help everybody out. Listen and synthesize. So it's very important when dealing with providing feedback for students to allow them time to speak to what it is they were trying to produce. A lot of the time, the students won't be able to articulate themselves clearly, maybe because they're not that experienced with the vernacular yet, or they just don't have the words at the forefront of their mind to be able to speak clearly about what it is they're trying to produce. When you allow them that time to speak, you can then parse what it is they were trying to say and interpret that, and sometimes help them be able to articulate what it is they were trying to produce. It can help them learn about how to speak about their work, and it helps you understand what to target for development. Providing clear and polite feedback. A lot of students will be frustrated and upset sometimes when they are given feedback on the best of days, even if the feedback is clear and even if it is polite. So with that said, it's very important to make sure that we are creating a supportive environment where the students are going to be receptive to the feedback so that they can maximize their learning. Be specific about the language that you use and the elements within the piece that need correction or need more development. That way the student can know what they have to do in very clear steps, and they can proceed forward with that. Preparation. For an online mentor, it is very important to make sure that you prepare for your lecture or mentor sessions. If you are teaching ready-made content, it's good to remind yourself of what you are teaching so that you come from a point of knowing and not guessing and seeming unsure about what you're teaching. It can inspire confidence in the students that way. And it's also good to make sure that you prepare for the individual students. That way you know what their shortcomings are and how to pinpoint the areas of development for them. Quality of communication. As a mentor, it's very important for us to make sure that we're being clear in our communication and prompt with our communication. We can say a lot of words that mean nothing and completely confuse people, so it's important that we make sure that we're not using jargon or that we're at least being concise with the language that we are using when providing feedback. On the other hand, it's very good to be prompt with communication. In the modern day, we have a lot of very quick ways to be able to communicate with each other, especially in formal or professional environments. Student issues and contexts. As professional artists, it may not be that you come to teaching or mentoring naturally. In the case of being a mentor, sometimes there are personal issues and even societal issues that may lead a younger person or a new artist to struggle in certain areas that are not related to art principles or techniques. It might be motivation, it might be mental health. So it's very important to make sure that you're sympathetic to the things that these other humans are going through, maybe help them find other avenues to be able to sort these problems out if you're not equipped for that, so that they have the best experience possible. Taking responsibility. We all make mistakes when we're working on artwork or when we're working with people, and it can be very important for a mentor in situations where they have made a mistake to take responsibility for the mistake and remedy it as soon as possible and move on. It's an opportunity to learn and grow, so you shouldn't take it as a failure. It can be a failure, but look at it in a positive light, and it will tend to help you get better. Reading documentation and following instructions. It can be very difficult in our modern world to pay attention to everything. Every device and app we get has some user agreement with hundreds of pages of legalese information that we just do not read. In situations like a professional environment, it's very important that you read the documentation, like your contract or instructions on how you should be working in your day-to-day. Usually when someone doesn't read the documentation, it can lead to some frustration from your team members if they know that that information is already readily available to you. Time management. As an online mentor, it's very important to make sure that you're managing your time appropriately to make your experience the most efficient possible. When it comes to working with a larger group of students, or even a smaller group of students, making sure that you have time to prepare for the sessions and to provide enough feedback and are not distracted or interrupted is very important for the experience to be something that is positive for everybody. Hopefully this video has provided you some good tips and tricks to make your mentoring more dynamic. Make sure to follow us on our YouTube channel and check out some of the other tips and tricks videos, and to go to cgspectrum.com to check out some of our courses that are available.